and a practitioner of Shitoryu Karate and also a member of Philippine Karatedo League. In today's episode, we will talk about the Yoko Uke and Uchi Uke. So I hope you enjoy this one. So in the previous episode, we tackled about the upper block and the lower block. And we also discussed that those blockings are performed in order for us to protect ourselves from attacks going to our face above or from attacks going from this part of our body going down. Now, in this episode, we will tackle other blockings that we can perform in order to protect this part of our body, especially if the attack is going to our chest or to our solar plexus or abdomen. So, first blocking that we would like to talk about is what we call the Yoko Uke, or the outward block. Well, in other martial arts or karate styles, they call it in a different way, but I'm sure you're going to recognize this one if you're also a practitioner of karate. If you're a beginner, you'll also recognize this when your sensei or your instructor would tend to perform this in your front or demonstrate this technique. So how do we do it? So first, Yoko Uke and Shitoryu is when from this position. So again, we will start from this position. Now, what we're going to do is our purpose is to move our fist going to this part of our body. Again, from this position, we're moving our fist going to this part of our body. The purpose of this is, imagine someone is trying to punch you or hit you in a thrust motion, meaning to say it's on a push motion, going towards your chest or your solar plexus or abdomen, or even this part of your body. So, to block it successfully using the Yoko Uke, you have to par that attack going outside. But of course, since this is a karate block, other than just redirecting the attack going outside of your body to protect yourself, one of your purpose is to hurt your opponent's, let's say, fist or wrist or hand or foot, especially if your opponent is using a maigeri or a front kick. You might block this part of his feet. So how do we do it? Usually in other styles, they perform it in this way. So the fist is from this side of the body. So let's say they're in this position. Then they're trying to move it going to this way. So let's say, for example, their ready position is like this. So they move it like this. They start with this position, then they move it towards this side, right? But in this episode, we'll try to simplify that form or technique by changing the starting position of our fist, okay? So, let's say you're from this position or this, okay? So, instead of making sure that your fist is starting from this part of your body, we'll try to start from this one, okay? So, imagine if it's just one arm, so we'll start it from this position, then move it like this. Again. So if you're on the sideways or side view, it's going to start from this part instead of this, then again. So you're twisting your wrist at the end of the motion to add acceleration and impact to your technique. And when blocking, if you watch the previous episode, whenever we block using the Tsudan Tsuki, instead of just doing this, we perform this in order to just redirect the force of the attack, right? Same principle applies with this blocking. So instead of trying to block it from this side, so let's say, for example, the attack is going to your chest, instead of trying to block it opposite, like across, you move your fist on a diagonal motion. So instead of going to this part, you're going here. It's like a 45-degree. So you're not directly blocking the force going towards your body, but instead you're just trying to redirect it and somehow slash it diagonally. It's like we can compare it to a samurai sword. Usually when they cut bamboos or when they're practicing, sometimes they don't really cut this way, but rather this way, diagonally, right? So same goes with the blocking. So we cut the wrist in a certain way with a diagonal direction or force. So instead of blocking it towards the side, we're blocking it diagonally, okay? So it comes from here, not from this one. So if we're on the this position, so let's say we're here, we started here. So we will just move our fist towards here. Then we'll just move it in a circular motion going here. Again, we will put our fist here from the elbow. Then move circular motion going here. So instead of going from this side, we're going from this side. So again, from this, we move. Then in this position. So how do we move it? So let's say we're on this preparation position. So in a faster motion, we do it like this. Again. 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 And you should keep a fist distance from your elbow to your body. Something like this. So this form. So that's how we perform the Yoko Uke in a simpler way. So instead of going from this side, we perform it from this side. So from a side view, it's going to be like this. Or from this side, now we can also mix a punch while performing this attack by using this one. So from this blocking, after performing this block, you can perform the punch. Again, from this block, you can perform the punch. So again. Again. Now, another way to block an attack going to your chest or abdomen is from outside going inside. So earlier we discussed from inside going outside. Now this time we're going to move our fist from outside going in. So how do we do it? This is what we call Uchi Uke. So also in other karate style it might be called in a different way. But in Shitoryu, it is usually called as a Uchi Uke. So how do we do it? Usually in other styles, they start with this position, fist almost the level of your head, then they move it here. Again, from this position, they move it here. Now we're going to make it simpler again by not starting from this position, but rather from this position. So we're trying to intact our body as one unit and make sure that this one is near our shoulder. So from this position, again, we block diagonally. So, one. Then, on this side. Then from this side. From this side. Okay, so the purpose of this block is, earlier what we tried to do is move the target outside of our body, right? Now this time we're really literally trying to redirect the attack going towards our chest, going to the other side of our body. So an attack is going here, we redirect it so that it can go outside our body and keep our body safe and our center line safe. So how do we do it again? So from this, 1, 2, then 1, intact, 2, 1, 2. Now, just like other blockings, like upper block and lower block, we can also mix this with the karate punch or the Tsudan Tsuki. So how do we do it? So let's say from this position, let's say I'm on a forward stance, like this, and I block. After blocking, I can deliver the Tsudan Tsuki going to the chest or the head of the attacker. Like a counter attack. Again, from this position, I block. Then, I punch. So that's how we perform the Uchi Uke, and also earlier, the Yoko Uke, which is the outward block. So I hope you practice this blocking whenever you're a beginner or an advanced practitioner of karate, and I hope this video will help you advance your technique or improve it, and also be able to perform this whenever you need to defend yourself outside if there's an attacker on the street or whenever. Okay, so guys, this is Jodz of Shitoguy Martial Arts. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and just feel free to click on the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you and have a great day.